Good morning, members. Members, please take your seats. Please take your seats. I know everyone's planning their weekend, but y'all know if we don't get started, we can't get finished, right? So, members, take your seats. The hour for convening having arrived, all members will please take their seats. Mr. Clerk, will you please ring the bell? We're going to have the morning roll call vote. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? We will begin the day as is our custom with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the lady from the 103rd House District, Representative Sue Hong. Representative Hong.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, colleagues. I am delighted to introduce Pastor Jung Hoon Sun from the Korean Community Presbyterian Church, or KCPC, in Gwinnett County. Many Korean immigrants, like my family did, find a sense of home, community, and resources at our churches when we first moved to America. KCPC is one of the oldest and the largest Korean American churches here in Georgia. They have over 2,000 members, and they focus a lot on missionary work all over the world, as well as a lot of the prison systems here in Georgia. Before Pastor Sun started at KCPC in 2019, he started his own ministry in Seoul and grew it in San Diego as well as Hong Kong. His wife, Rachel Ann, is here, if you can stand up. And she is a professor at the Denver Theological Seminary as well. And they have two sons who attend Buford Schools, which is in the Great District of 103. I'm excited to have Pastor Sun as our chaplain this morning, and I'm excited to hear from him. Pastor Sun.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Representative Sue Hong, Matt Reeves, and all the chamber members for inviting me to this special occasion. I'm so honored. I feel so honored to be here. As I was preparing my sermon, I asked AI, Artificial Intelligence Service, what do politicians and pastors have in common? And the AI service replied, well, they always promise a better future and never deliver. What? At first I thought that was not fair, but I began to think about it more seriously. Am I really a promise keeper as a pastor? How about yourself? Are you faithful to the promise you made to God and people who sent you to this chamber? If you are having difficulty delivering the promise you have made, let me introduce you to the words of advice from the Bible. 1 Samuel 2:6-8 says, "The Lord brings death and makes alive. The Lord sends poverty and wealth. He humbles and he exalts. He raises the poor from the dust and lifts the needy from the ash heap." And Proverbs 2:6-7 says, "For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He holds success in store for the upright. He is a shield to those whose walk is blameless." Bible clearly says that he is the provider and protector of his people. He is the source of every good thing we need, such as wisdom, courage, and wealth. He is also the shield of everything we cherish. Therefore, no matter how hard the issues we confront, we should never settle for a mediocre solution. Instead, we must pray hard, think hard, research hard, or even debate hard until we come up with this best solution for the issues we need to tackle for the great state of Georgia. I know a wonderful man of God who was not satisfied with this mediocre solution and used God-given insight to transform countless Korean lives. His missionary, William A. Linton, from Thomasville, Georgia. He graduated from Georgia Tech with top honors and left General Electric, where his future was secure. He boarded a ship to an unknown country of Joseon, presently Korea, to serve as a missionary. Representative Darlene Taylor, she's from Thomasville. Where are you, by the way? Hey, thank you for sending that great man to Korea 111 years ago. Thank you. Let's see the picture of the family. Once he landed at Kunsan, a small town in South Korea in 1912, he taught Bible and English, and he established many schools, including girls-only school, and started modern education. But during the Japanese colonial period, he refused to bow down before Japanese god, the Shinto shrine, so he was expelled from the country by the Imperial Army. However, he returned to Korea after the liberation and founded this Hannam University that you are seeing right now, the picture, and when the Korea War was ended. In fact, one of our associate pastors graduated from that university. Seo Moksa님, would you wave your hand? He's one of the graduates of that Hannam University. Not only that, Linton's family, his third son, Hugh Linton, and his sons, Steve and John, became missionaries too that helped tuberculosis victims in Korea. Also, the fourth generation of the Linton family is still helping North Korean hospital and patients. Missionary Horace Grant Underwood and his descendants were another faithful man of God, and we Koreans deeply owe to him. Would you show a picture of this Horace, a missionary, Horace Grant Underwood? Especially my wife here and I are the direct beneficiary of his ministry because we got the best Christian education from the university called Yonsei, and which was founded by this missionary when he was 26 years old in 1885. He and his fourth generation of children continued missionary work in Korea, building schools, hospitals, and churches, publishing Korean English dictionaries, and contributing significantly to the country's democratization. As we talk about the great man of God, we cannot pass by without mentioning the 50,000 U.S. officers and soldiers who laid down their lives during the Korean War. Without their dedication, South Korea would not have been able to attain the freedom and democracy that we enjoy these days. That's why our church ministers to the Korean War veterans like this. There are now only 20 or 30 Georgian veterans left, all of whom are well over 90 years. So we really appreciate their effort. Those are the people who had the wisdom and courage to live out the promises they has made to God and the country to the people. I can say that I fully understand the difficulties you face daily to accomplish the mission given to you. But I know for sure that what you are experiencing is not the first time in history, because history repeats itself. Moses experienced racial, gender, and moral issues when he had to lead 2 million refugees out of Egypt to the promised land. King David also had to persuade those who had won great booties in a battlefield. So they fought this fight and they collected these booties. And then these soldiers didn't want to share it with the other soldiers who were defending their families and their properties. A good leader, I believe, does not always follow the people to where they want to go, but instead, they tell and guide people where they must go. You not only represent, I believe, you not only represent the voters of your district, but I believe you are also supposed to lead them in the right direction. If Moses had followed the people's wishes, he would have returned to Egypt because they complained. That way, we were better off when we were in Egypt enslaved. But Moses didn't listen to them because he had a clear vision of the promised land. If King David had followed the opinion of the soldiers who fought on the battlefield and wanted to keep all the booties for themselves, the nation would be divided. But David did not. He said, "No way, we're going to share all booties with the people who are left behind, but still doing their job." That way, David were able to unite the kingdom together. To be a good leader, we need the godly wisdom to discern the truth and the courage to practice that truth. Dear fellow leaders in the chamber, if you seek wisdom from God, our provider, our protector, I firmly believe that he will surely give it to you. May God bless you and all the Georgians abundantly. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we pray that you may grant wisdom and courage to these representatives who serve on behalf of the state of Georgia. Please give them the wisdom to discern the truth in this chaotic age and the courage to practice what they promise before God and people. Help them all to be promise keepers. Also, I pray that you may help them devise the best policy for all God's children, not just for us, not just for our generation or our region and our country. Help us to remember God's word that says, when kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it produces many seeds. Help us all to lead our state by serving them diligently. May our Georgia become one state under God and the safest and strongest and most prosperous state in all of America, so we can be a great channel of blessing for others. We pray all these things in the precious name of our Jesus Christ, the Savior of the Lord. Amen. Amen. Please.
Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Members, you may greet the chaplain in the South Anteroom, and we do appreciate that message here this morning, that devotion. Very important. Thank you. Chair recognizes Chairman Tarvin, the Chair of the Committee on Information and Audits.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Information and Audits has read the Legislative Journal from the previous day and found it to be correct. And on another note, on this long weekend, if opportunity does not knock, build yourself your own door.
We can probably work with that. We can probably work with that. Chairman Tarvin, the Chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? The Chair hears none. The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, would you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Illustration of the 104th moves following establishes the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 288 by Representative Parrish, the 158th bill being titled Act to create the East Georgia Regional Airport Authority.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 289 by Representative Bruce, the 61st Beverly, the 143rd, McLean, the 109th, Marin, and the 96th, Bazemore, the 69th, and others. Will be titled Act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Department of Administrative Services.
Governmental affairs.
House Bill 290 by Representative Scoggins, the 14th, Smith, the 18th, Gamble, the 15th, Reeves, the 99th, Seaball, the 34th, and others. Will be titled an Act to amend Article 6 of Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to municipal taxation.
Ways and means.
House Bill 291 by Representative Scoggins, the 14th, Smith of the 18th, Oliver of the 82nd. Bill be titled Act to amend Title 29 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to guardian and ward.
Juvenile justice.
House Bill 292 by Representative Reeves, the 99th, Silcox, the 53rd, Hilton, the 48th, Kelly, the 16th, Stoner, the 40th. A bill being titled an Act to amend Part 7 of Article 5 of Chapter 3 of Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to miscellaneous provisions regarding timeshare projects and programs.
Judiciary.
House Bill 293 by Representative Byrd of the 20th, Donahue the 31st, Clark of the 100th, Bonner of the 73rd, Horner of the 3rd, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Article 4, Chapter 11, Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to dangerous instrumentalities and practices.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 294 by Representative Deloach of the 167th, Lumsden of the 12th, Williams of the 148th, and Taylor of the 173rd. Bill be titled an Act to amend Article 3, Chapter 37 of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to procedure for rehabilitation.
Insurance.
House Bill 295 by Representative Hawkins, the 27th, Bennett the 94th, Newton the 127th, Cooper the 45th, Jones the 47th, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to insurance.
Insurance.
House Bill 296 by Representative Neal, the 79th, Vance the 133rd, Gilliard the 162nd, Holcomb of the 81st, Hitchens the 161st, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Code Section 35.8.7 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the powers and duties of the Georgia Peace Officer Standards and Training Council.
Public safety and homeland security.
House Bill 297 by Representative Neal, the 79th. Bill be titled an Act to amend Subpart 2 of Part 6 of Article 6 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to conditions of employment for professionals in elementary and secondary education.
Education.
House Bill 298 by Representative Daniel, the 117th, Hilton of the 48th, Gunner of the 8th, Oliver of the 82nd, Silcox the 53rd, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 12 of Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions regarding juries.
Judiciary,
House Bill 299 by Representative Thomas, the 21st Bonner of the 73rd, Clark of the 100th, Ballard of the 147th, Tarver of the 2nd, and others. Will be titled an act to amend Code Section 1592.1, Title 16, Title 19, Title 20, and Chapter 2 of Title 38, Chapter 2 and Title 40, the Fiscal Code of Georgia annotated relating to appointment, compensation, and authority.
Defense and Veteran Affairs.
House Bill 300 by Representative Smith of the 138th, Kelly the 16th, Williamson of the 112th, Stevens the 164th, Blackman of the 146th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 4 of Article 1 of Chapter 3, Title 46 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to solar power-free market financing.
Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications.
House Bill 301 by Representative Ridley the 6th, Smith of the 18th, Collins the 71st, Rhodes of the 124th, Burchett of the 176th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to motor vehicles and traffic.
Motor Vehicles.
House Bill 302 by Representatives Franklin, the 160th, Smith, the 18th, Hitchens, 161st, Miller, the 62nd, Silcox, the 53rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 16.594 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated related to restraining orders and protective orders.
Judiciary, Non-Civil.
House Bill 303 by Representative Davis, the 87th, Beverly, 143rd, Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, Taylor of the 92nd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 3 of Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to regulation of specialized land transactions.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 304 by Representative Neal, the 79th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to property.
Judiciary.
House Bill 305 by Representative Dickey, the 145th, Houston of the 170th, Gilliard of the 162nd, Carpenter of the 4th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 2 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to agriculture.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
House Bill 306 by Representative Fleming of the 114th, Rhodes of the 124th, Townsend of the 179th, McCollum of the 30th, Barton of the 5th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 22.506 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to definitions and authority to enter into multi-year leases.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 307 by Representative Powell of the 33rd, Parsons the 44th, Gullett of the 19th, Dickey the 145th, and Martin of the 49th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 46 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to public utilities and public transportation.
Technology and Infrastructure Innovation.
House Bill 308 by Representative Newton, the 127th, Dubnik of the 29th, Hawkins the 27th, Cooper the 45th, Parrish the 158th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 7 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to income taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 309 by Representative Cooper the 45th, Fleming of the 114th, Dempsey the 13th, and LaHood of the 175th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 7 of Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to regulation of hospitals and related institutions.
Human Relations and Aging.
House Bill 310 by Representative Wilkerson of the 38th, Evans the 57th, Bernal the 77th, Carpenter the 4th, Green of the 154th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to education.
Higher Education.
House Bill 311 by Representative Smith the 70th, Stevens the 164th, Knight of the 134th, Green of the 154th, Blackman of the 146th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions regarding ad valorem taxation of property.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 312 by Representative Hughley of the 141st and Buckner of the 137th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 10 of Title 25 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to regulation of fireworks.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 313 by Representative Stevens, the 164th, Smith, the 138th, Hughley, the 141st, Dickey, the 145th, and Jackson, the 165th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to vocational, technical, and adult education.
Higher Education.
House Bill 314 by Representative Stevens, the 164th, Houston in the 170th, Dempsey the 13th, Green in the 154th, Douglas the 78th. A bill be titled an act to amend Title 12 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to conservation and natural resources.
Game, Fish, and Parks.
House Bill 315 by Representative Taylor, 173rd, Cooper the 45th, Silcox the 53rd, Mathiak the 74th, Bennett the 94th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 24, Title 33 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to insurance generally.
Insurance.
House Bill 316 by Representative Evans, the 57th, Stevens, the 164th, Williams, the 168th, Green, the 154th, and Wilkinson, the 38th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 7 of Article 7 of Chapter 3, Title 20 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to Hope scholarships and grants.
Higher education.
House Bill 317 by Representative Taylor, 173rd, Mathis, the 149th, Collins, the 71st, Seaball, the 34th, and Mathiak, the 74th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 19 and Title 47 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to State Employees Assurance Department.
Insurance.
House Bill 318 by Representative Hilton of the 48th, Jones of the 47th, Dubnik of the 29th, Thomas the 21st, Maynard of the 56th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2 and Title 20 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to elementary and secondary education.
Education.
House Bill 319 by Representative Martin of the 49th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 7, Chapter 3, Title 20 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to scholarships, loans, and grants.
Higher education.
House Bill 320 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Hutchinson of the 106th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to health of students generally.
Education.
House Bill 321 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Davis of the 87th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 2 of Title 48 of the 49 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions relative to the Department of Human Services.
Agriculture and Consumer
House
Affairs.
Bill 322 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions regarding ad valorem taxation of property.
Ways and
House
Means.
Bill 323 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Williams of the 168th. Bill be titled Act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 4, Title 38 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to the Department of Veterans Service.
Judiciary.
House Bill 324 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd, and Williams of the 168th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 4, Title 38 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to the Department of Veterans Services.
Defense and Veteran Affairs.
House Bill 325 by Representative Miller of the 62nd, Holcomb of the 81st, and Neal of the 79th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Title 35 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions relative to law enforcement officers and agencies.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 326 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Hilton of the 48th, Kennard of the 101st, McLean of the 109th, Mugall of the 105th, and others. A bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 1 of the official code of Georgia Annotated relating to holidays and services so as designate January 17th as Muhammad Ali Day.
Special Rules.
House Resolution 139 by Representative Neal of the 79th, Crow of the 118th, Gilliard of the 162nd, Daniel of the 117th, Jackson of the 128th, and others. The resolution creating a House Study Committee on alternatives to mass shooter prevention methods.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Resolution 140 by Representative Davis of the 87th, Kendrick of the 95th, Carter of the 93rd, Bennett of the 94th, and Mitchell of the 88th. A resolution urging the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority to reaffirm its commitment to extension of the rail system.
Transportation.
House Resolution 141 by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, Green of the 154th, Petrie of the 166th, Bennett of the 94th, Townsend of the 179th, and others. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on expanding long-term care options.
Human Relations and Aging.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 263 by Representative Thomas of the 65th, the bill relating to income taxes. House Bill 264 by Representative Smith of the 138th, Rhodes of the 124th, Williams of the 148th, Corbett of the 174th, Blackman of the 146th, a bill relating to creation of county boards of equalization duties, review of assessments and appeals. House Bill 265 by Representative Carter of the 93rd, Kendrick of the 95th, Moore of the 91st, and Taylor of the 92nd, a bill to amend an act providing a supplement to the compensation, salary, expenses, and allowances of the judges of Superior Court of Rockdale Judicial Circuit. House Bill 266 by Representative Byrd of the 20th, Mathiak of the 74th, Donahue of the 31st, Clark of the 100th, Bonner of the 73rd, and others, a bill relating to control of hazardous conditions, preventable disease, metabolic disorders. House Bill 267 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Corbett of the 174th, Rhodes of the 124th, Hitchens of the 161st, Evans of the 57th, and others, a bill relating to general provisions relative to income taxes. House Bill 268 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Powell of the 33rd, Ridley of the 6th, Matthews of the 149th, Barton of the 5th, a bill relating to Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. House Bill 269 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Douglas of the 78th, Gaines of the 120th, Oliver of the 82nd, Roberts of the 52nd, and others, a bill relating to meetings open to the public. House Bill 270 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Bruce of the 61st, Miller of the 62nd, Bazemore of the 69th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from City of College Park ad valorem taxes. House Bill 271 by Representative Parkle of the 169th, Corbett of the 174th, Lumsden of the 12th, Jaspers of the 11th, Williams of the 148th, and others, a bill relating to motor vehicles and traffic. House Bill 272 by Representative Huddleston of the 72nd, Collins of the 71st, Smith of the 18th, Smith of the 70th, a bill to authorize the municipal court of the City of Carrollton to charge a technology fee. House Bill 273 by Representative Deloach of the 167th, Townsend of the 179th, Williams of the 168th, Petrie of the 166th, a bill relating to general provisions relative to the Department of Natural Resources. House Bill 274 by Representative Jones of the 60th, Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Gladney of the 130th, a bill relating to holidays and observances. House Bill 275 by Representative Powell of the 33rd, Corbett of the 174th, Jaspers of the 11th, and Perkle of the 169th, a bill relating to general provisions relative to torts. House Bill 276 by Representative Scoggins of the 14th, Gunter of the 8th, Yersa of the 152nd, Kelly of the 16th, Oliver of the 82nd, and others, a bill relating to definitions regarding tuition equalization grants at private colleges and universities. House Bill 277 by Representative Scoggins of the 14th, Dollard of the 19th, Kelly of the 16th, Smith of the 18th, Fleming of the 114th, and others, a bill relating to income taxes. House Bill 278 by Representative LaHood of the 175th, Buckner of the 137th, Powell of the 33rd, Corbett of the 174th, a bill relating to athletic trainers. House Bill 279 by Representative Gamble of the 15th, Fry of the 122nd, Wiedauer of the 121st, Washburn of the 144th, and Gullett of the 19th, a bill relating to property insurance. House Bill 280 by Representative Gamble of the 15th, Lumpson of the 12th, Williams of the 148th, Taylor of the 173rd, Smith of the 18th, a bill relating to insurance. House Bill 281 by Representative Maynard of the 56th, Thomas of the 65th, Lim of the 98th, a bill relating to local government budgets and audits. House Bill 282 by Representative Maynard of the 56th, Werkheiser of the 157th, Wilkerson of the 38th, Smith of the 41st, and Lim of the 98th, a bill relating to competencies and core curriculum under the Quality Basic Education Act. House Bill 283 by Representative Camp of the 135th, Jaspers of the 11th, Bonner of the 73rd, Corbett of the 174th, Smith of the 18th, and others, a bill relating to general provisions applicable to sales and use tax. House Bill 284 by Representative Camp of the 135th, Knight of the 134th, Cameron of the 1st, Mathiak of the 74th, Green of the 154th, and others, a bill relating to general provisions for insurance. House Bill 285 by Representative Franklin of the 160th, Carson of the 46th, Martin of the 49th, Williams of the 148th, Rhodes of the 124th, and others, a bill to amend the Public Retirement Systems Investment Authority Law. House Bill 286 by Representative Au of the 50th, Bruce of the 61st, Camp of the 135th, Oliver of the 82nd, Gilliard of the 162nd, and others, a bill to amend the Surprise Bill and Consumer Protection Act. House Bill 287 by Representative Thomas of the 65th, Schofield of the 63rd, Marin of the 96th, a bill to relate to standards, labeling, and adulteration of food. House Resolution 125 by Representative Bernal of the 77th, Scott of the 76th, Jones of the 60th, Douglas of the 78th, and Neal of the 79th. Resolution recognizing Dr. Barbara Polium, dedicating a road in her honor. Senate Bill Number 1 by Senator Dolezal of the 27th, Gooch of the 51st, Anavarte of the 31st, Kennedy of the 18th, Moore of the 53rd, and others, a bill relating to general provisions regarding state government. Senate Bill 26 by Senator Dolezal of the 27th, Gann of the 47th, Goodman of the 8th, Walker of the 3rd of the 20th, Hickman of the 4th, and others, a bill relating to state government. House Bill 36 by Representative Robertson of the 29th, Albert of the 56th, Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Eccles of the 49th, Hatchett of the 50th, and others, a bill relating to penalties for violating Code Sections 16-6-9 through 16-6-12. House Senate Bill 37 by Senator Robertson of the 29th, Albers of the 56th, Hatchett of the 50th, Summers of the 13th, Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, and others, a bill relating to general provisions regarding sheriffs, through second readers.
Reports of standing committees. The clerk will read.
Representative Eddie Lumsden of the 12th District, Chairman of the Committee on Insurance, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Insurance has under consideration the following bills to the House. Instructed me to report same back to the House. Following recommendations. House Bill 63 do pass. House Bill 85 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Eddie Lumsden of the 12th District, Chairman. Representative Williams, the 148th District Chairman on Committee on Banks and Banking, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Banks and Banking has had under consideration the following bills to the House and instructed me to report same back to the House. Following recommendations. House Bill 84 to pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Williams, the 148th Chairman. Representative John LaHood of the 175th District, Chairman on Committee on Governmental Affairs, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Governmental Affairs has had under consideration the following bills of the House. It instructed me to report same back to the House. Following recommendations. House Bill 17 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 193 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative John LaHood of the 175th District, Chairman. Representative Beth Campbell, 135th District, Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals had under consideration the following bills of the House. It has instructed me to report the same back to the House. The following recommendations. House Bill 93 do pass by substitute. House Bill 134 do pass by substitute. House Bill 160 do pass. House Bill 199 do pass. House Bill 210 do pass. House Bill 240 do pass. House Bill 255 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Beth Campbell, the 135th District, Chairman. Representative Gunner of the 8th District, Chairman on Committee on Judiciary, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Judiciary has had under consideration the following bills of the House. It has instructed me to report same back to the House. The following recommendations. House Bill 91 do pass. House Bill 176 do pass. House Bill 182 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Gunner of the 8th District, Chairman. Representative Tyler Paul Smith of the 18th District, Chairman on Committee on Judiciary Non-Civil, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Judiciary Non-Civils had under consideration the following bill of the House. Has instructed me to report same back to the House. The following recommendation. House Bill 196 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Tyler Paul Smith of the 18th District, Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
House will come to order. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. If there are no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. The clerk will read the local calendar.
House Bill 93 by substitute by Representative Campbell, 171st, Mitchell County. House Bill 134 by substitute by Representative Carpenter, the 4th, City of Dalton. House Bill 160 by Representative Green, 154th, City of Albany. House Bill 199 by Representative LaHood of the 175th, Brooks County. House Bill 210 by Representative Smith, 138th, Harris County. House Bill 240 by Representative Green of the 154th, Clay County. House Bill 255 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Brantley County.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? Chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? Chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the passage of the bills on the local calendar, the ayes are 166, the nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. Representative Panage. Representative Panage will talk to us about our doctor of the day and tell us exactly what's going on with that doctor right now. They're doing their job, so we'll let the representative explain and introduce us to her.
Good morning, everybody. It's my pleasure to introduce the doctor of the day, who is doing what doctors do, taking care of a patient. Our doctor is Dr. Matthew Keaty. He is an associate professor of the Department of Emergency Medicine at Emory. He's the vice chair for clinical practice of emergency medicine at Emory University School of Medicine and an associate professor of emergency medicine at Emory. He got his master's of health administration from the University of Cincinnati and his MD from the East Virginia Medical School. He also got his bachelor's of science from Duke University. His primary research interest involves emergency department throughout and innovations in the science of healthcare delivery. He wants to improve emergency departments' operations, including exploring the impact of clinical information managers on throughput and provider productivity, the impact of electronic pathways in our medical records to standardize and streamline line care. Even though he's not physically here in this room because he is taking care of a patient, let us all warmly welcome him to the Capitol. I will convey your regards. Thank you.
So noted. Thank you, Representative Panage. We appreciate you introducing the doctor, and we certainly appreciate the physicians that come here to serve us, and certainly we understand and are very appreciative of him providing that service right now. So if you see him later on today, be sure and give him thanks. We're moving on to morning orders. We have a number of folks in our gallery that will be recognized this morning. So members, I'll ask you to give your attention to the presenter in the well. We'll start with Chairman Petrie, who'll be joined by Chairman Stevens and the Chatham County delegation. And Chairman Petrie, I know this is going to be difficult, but keep this just as close to 1 minute as you can. I know you have a lot to do, and I'm being serious about that, to adequately recognize them. But we do have, ladies and gentlemen, we do have numerous morning orders this morning, so do your best.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, it is indeed my honor to recognize today the Benedictine Military School High School 4A champions, 2022 and 2021, 2 years in a row. And I want to let y'all know something else. 4th time state champions in 9 years. Right. And yeah, thank you. And by the way, I'm the only Benedictine Military School alum in the legislature, but before I introduce you to these fine young men, I've got to tell you something. I want us all to offer our condolences to Representative Trey Kelly. And Representative Prince, if you would offer some emotional support, because you see the team that we beat, and we've got a picture here, I want y'all to look at this. The team we defeated was the Cedartown Bulldogs. And accordingly, I now, because of this, am owed a steak dinner at Rathbun's because of this victory. So anyway, folks, I want to tell y'all real briefly, look at this picture. So here, this is the most amazing game. There's 1.5 minutes left in the game. We're up 14-13. We're up by 1 point. The Bulldogs are inside the 2-yard line. It's first down. And our boys, our cadets, hold them 4 times to win the game 14-13. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Danny Britt, Benedictine Military School. First, I want you to meet Coach Britt. Zaquan Bryan, Charlie Iannone, and James Moore, the 3 co-captains of this team. And the last thing I'm going to say, folks, our coach, Danny Britt, 4-time Georgia High School Coach of the Year. We're so proud of you young men. I've got the resolution here for you. These are fine young men, fine athletes, but fine cadets. Thank you, young men. Bye-bye.
Congratulations, Coach Brett and Benedictine. Let's see, the young men are going to Auburn, the Citadel, and Minnesota. So exceptional young men met them this morning. Thank you all for being here, and thanks for being good students as well as great athletes. Chair Lady Cooper, you're recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, obviously today I think you know that the audience and upstairs, we are a lot of dental hygienists with us. And they have passed out this kit so you can have improved dental health care. I hope you'll take it home and use it and say thank you to any of them that happened to talk to you in the hall. They've been doing this and working for the better oral health of our citizens for 75 years. And a few years ago, we passed a great bill that allows them to go out and work with our most needy children in some of the schools and in healthcare for lower income families, to let them check the teeth and let them clean the children's teeth. So thank you to all our dental hygienists. If you're in the balcony, please stand up and let us thank you. Welcome you too. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the will.
Thank you, Chair Lady Cooper. And ladies, welcome to the People's House. Good to have y'all here. Chair Lady Lynn Smith is recognized for a morning order. Chair Lady Smith, you're up. The clock's running. No, you're good.
Good morning, everyone. And if the delegation will join me up here, there are about 40 kids sitting up here in the balcony at the V up there. They're from the Heritage School. They are studying us today. They have a civics project. They've already presented me with a petition for our group. And it's too many for us to get a photo with, I'm afraid, but please help me welcome them to the great House of Georgia.
Welcome to your capital. Chairman John Carson is recognized for a morning order.
Fellowship Christian. Hey everyone, good morning. I've heard, actually we have a great group of kids here from Fellowship Christian School. I've heard a little bit about truck weights, but it's actually Fellowship Christian Day here at the Georgia State Capitol. Will you kids stand up? These are all 12th graders in AP Government from Miss Urgel's class from Roswell, Georgia, Fellowship Christian School. Welcome to your capital. I figured that's what that was about. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Welcome. Good to have you. Chairman Wuckeiser, recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have some of our brightest and best students from Evans County that were brought to us with Adam Kennedy, who's the IDA director from Evans County, who's no stranger to the Capitol, Tammy Hall, the executive director, Gina Roberts, mayor of Hagen, Neil Hammock, Evans County commissioner, and then the two advisors, Candace Kirby, from Claxton High School and Betsy Lynn from Pinewood. Would y'all stand and let us recognize y'all? Thank you for coming to your capital. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Vance Smith, recognized for our morning order. He has friends.
I have a few, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, we'd like to take this moment, along with the delegation, Representative Buckner, Representative Holston, Representative Jenkins, and we would like for the House to help me in a few minutes congratulate a great baseball team from down at LaGrange College. We have with us the president, Dr. Baxter, with us. The coach is with us, Coach Kelton, and some fine young men that went a long way in the championship playoffs. Matter of fact, they won 44 games this year, and they only lost 9. So I consider that a pretty good season. Would y'all help me give a warm welcome as y'all stand, please, and give them a warm welcome to the Capitol. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, members of the House.
Thank you, Representative Smith. Good group there. That's quite a record, yeah. Chairman Blackman is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have a group of Perry Proud leaders here today. Would y'all stand and let us welcome you to the People's House? Thank you so very much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you and welcome. Chairman Chokus, recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With redistricting, I gained 4 new counties, and one of those counties is Webster County. And today in the gallery, stand up, I've got Dorothy Ingram, the superintendent from Webster County School System, here visiting the Capitol. She's checking it out because Monday I'm going to be bringing a bunch of students from Webster County, so she wanted to make sure it was safe. So with that being said, welcome, Dorothy. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Chokus, you're in the well more than I am. You're doing good work. Chair recognizes Representative Yasmin Neal for a morning order. Representative Neal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My colleagues from Clayton County delegation can step up. I know 1 or 2 might be missing today. Either way, good morning, everyone. Good morning, colleagues. Today is Chamber Day at the Capitol for my Clayton County Chamber of Commerce and the ATL Airport Chamber. The chamber is one that is so vital to us, so vital to our community, so vital to our airport and everything surrounding that space between here and traveling across the world by starting in Clayton County when you get to Hartsfield Airport. So I want to say thank you to all of our Clayton County citizens that are here. Thank you to our chamber. I know they are actually in programming at the moment. They want to be at the top, but either way, thank you so much, and thank you for having us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Neal. Members, we're ready to move on to the rules calendar. Mr. Clerk, the clerk will read the caption to HB 119.
House Bill 119 by Representative Corbett of the 174th and others be titled an act to Article 1 of Chapter 6 of Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions relative to uniforms, rules of the road so as to provide for procedure for passing stationary vehicles. This bill having referred to the Committee on Motor Vehicles, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
The gentleman needs your attention on this bill. It's a very important subject, so the chair recognizes Chairman Corbett to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, I bring before you House Bill 119, LC 393568. This bill was brought to me by AAA Auto Club. Presently, as our move over law in Georgia, if your first responders, emergency personnel, anybody flashing lights, sanitation workers out there on the side of the road, Georgia law requires you to move over when you can. If not, slow down. What we're doing with this bill, we're just going to extend that same privilege to the disabled motorists that's out there on the road. If they're broke down with their flashing lights on, they have to have their flashing lights on, then you get the same courtesy. You either slow down if you can't move over. And that's all this bill does. And I appreciate your favorable consideration. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Gentlemen, yield for a question.
I will yield for one. Yes.
Representative Cannon, to your left, has a question.
Thank you. Do you yield?
Yes.
Just a quick question. Is this not just a rule that could be otherwise done by a department? Is this bill the only way to get this done?
I think to make it a statewide, to be uniform rules of the road for the whole state, it needs to be done in code to codify this. I don't believe we can do it otherwise in rules. Thank you. I ask for your favorable consideration.
You have no further questions. We have a member who would like to speak to the subject matter. This Representative Teddy Reese is recognized to speak to House Bill 119. Representative Reese.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Speaker.
You're doing good. Keep on going there, Representative. We just want to hear what you got to say, man.
Yes, sir. I stand in favor of this bill today. I'm glad that we're extending the coverage, but I think this is a great time, too, for Georgia to remember why this bill is in place. Here on the screen, you have a gentleman by the name of Jonathan Begley. He was 41. And on December the 2nd, 2022, just days before Christmas, he was working for Griffin & Griffin Towing Company in Columbus, Georgia, and he was called to tow a state patrol officer who had been disabled on J.R. Allen Parkway. A motorist came along and hit him and the state patrol car. Thank God the officer's okay, but unfortunately, Mr. Begley lost his life. He left behind a wife, 2 children, and a tow family that loved him dearly. He was a great man with a full heart, full of energy, and he loved everyone. There was never an instance where I visited the tow yard and he wasn't just glad to see everybody there. So, Mr. Speaker, if you would allow, I would like this chamber to join me in a moment of silence for all Georgians that we have lost on the roadway, doing a job, doing their duty to the people of this great state. Mr. Speaker, I yield the will.
Thank you, Representative. We appreciate your view. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas were 167, the nays 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. The clerk will read the caption to HB 120.
House Bill 120 by Representative Corbett of the 174th and others to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 4564 of the Official Code of Georgia Antietam relating to limited driving permits for certain offenders so as to provide for standards for issuances of such permits. This bill having referred to the Committee on Motor Vehicles, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair recognizes Representative Chairman Corbett to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I bring before you this morning House Bill 120, LC 393525. This is the Department of Driver Services bill. They come to me and asked for some, basically some cleanup language. It was from a bill that was passed in 2020, House Bill 799. And what we did in 2020, it removed the language that prohibited someone with a DUI drug charge from receiving an early reinstatement or limited driving permit. So it removed the language that prohibited. However, it didn't put the permissive language, was inadvertently left out of the bill. So what we're doing here is just codifying. They're doing it in rules and regs now, but they want it codified to clear up that they do have that authority to do that. And that's all we're doing with this bill. And I appreciate your favorable consideration. And Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.
No questions. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. For what reason does the gentleman from the 17th, Representative Montahan?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to House Rule Number 133, I'd like to be excused from the vote.
So noted, will be in the record. Thank you, Representative. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas were 169, the nays are 2. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. The clerk will read the caption to House Bill 175.
House Bill 175 by Representative Daniel, the 117th and others to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 418 of the Official Code of Georgia Antietam relating to safe operations of motor carriers, commercial motor vehicles, and drivers and safe transportation of hazardous materials, so as to update the reference date to federal regulations regarding the safe operation of motor carriers and commercial motor vehicles. This bill having referred to the Committee on Motor Vehicles, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair recognizes Representative Daniel to present the bill. Is this your first bill? Really?
It is.
How long have you been here?
Just a few days.
Oh, good luck.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, y'all. Y'all are about to find out how passionate I am about motor vehicle carrier bills. Today, I rise on behalf of House Bill 175. This is a piece of legislation that amends Code Section 40-1-8 of OCGA. It is an annual bill that we do to replace the previous year with the current year in the code section. This definition change efficiently codifies updated commercial vehicle and driver safety rules for proper safety enforcement in our state. However, without this legislation, amendment to Georgia law enforcement officers, primarily in the Motor Carrier Compliance Division, would be unable to enforce the law as it stands. So we are favorable to this, and I hope you will be too. Further, it could put Georgia at risk for losing federal funding for these enforcement issues. Each year, the date must be codified into Georgia law to legally correspond with codified present regulations of federal commercial vehicle safety standards. In plain people words, this bill updates the year to make sure that the state stays in compliance with federal regulations and keeps our drivers on the road safe. And I ask for your favorable consideration.
Will the gentlelady yield for a question?
I will.
Have one here from the 107. Oh, no, that's you.
Oh.
Somebody mashed. Did you mash your button for a question in the back?
Did not. I did not.
Well, you do have one from the gentleman from the 29th. Chairman Dubnik has an important question for you. Straight in front of you on the left.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the lady yield?
I do.
Representative, I was looking over this last night, late in the night, and I ran out of a little bit of time. If you'll look with me on line 14, I have a question. You reference here, this bill referenced the present regulations promulgated under Section 49 of the Code of Federal Regulations. I'm sure you're aware there's a Subtitle A with 99 parts and Subtitle B with 12 parts, but I was curious if you could address this body and explain to us which of those regulations are promulgated and in effect as of January 1st of this year.
I believe that in the same way you found them, anyone curious can also find them in Section 40-1-8.
Yep. I was really curious about that 99th section where it refers back to the powers being relayed and conveyed to the state. So how will these federal regulations and your new state law be in support of one another, or are they going to be in conflict of one another?
No, they should be in support of one another. That is the entire purpose of this bill.
Well, I look forward to seeing that written description of how they'll be in concert with one another.
I think the gentleman can go to the lady's desk when she completes this, and she can explain it to him. That was kind of my question, but I think the next question will really get drilled down to what my question's about, this bill, and I'm going to recognize the gentleman from the 125th House District, Representative Fleming, for her question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the gentlelady in the well, I appreciate you bringing this, and actually I think you did a good job for your first bill, but here's my concern. If you'll look on page 2 of the bill, even if we pass this and the Senate passes it and the governor signs it, there is no enactment date on the bill.
I believe that once the Senate signs it and the governor signs it, the enactment date in the Constitution is July 1st.
The lady has done her homework. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, that scared away a lot of questions right there. With that answer, I'm going to just tell you, I think you're pretty much ready, but let's do one more, maybe two more. The gentleman from the 4th, Chairman Carpenter, has a very important question.
Does the gentlelady yield?
I do, for now.
I actually tried to call you from your microphone, and the speaker would not let me speak to you. But my question is, would you like me to hit the green button or the red button on this vote?
You know, I'm pretty young. I think I can make my way back to my seat to vote for my own bill. Are we done? Two more. He said two more.
The gentleman from the 116th has a burning question. Representative Holly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
I do.
Is it not true that while this is necessary to match our state regulation with the federal regulation with regard to the commercial, the trucks that are on our expressway, the truth is that while I miss the Locust Grove that you now have in your district, the truth is that this will do nothing to improve the load of traffic in Henry County. Is that true?
That is absolutely true, which is why I'm excited. I am on the Transportation Committee. Hopefully we can do something for the traffic in Henry County.
And
well, the gentlelady is doing an excellent job. Thank you for bringing this.
Thank you, Representative. She needs your help and all our help on that. This is the last one I think we have here, and he's been asking for a while. So seatmate back there, the gentleman from the 17th, Representative Montahan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
Of course.
So I was looking at this bill that you've got, and congratulations on your first bill, but hidden on the back page, it says that all laws and parts of laws in conflict with this act are repealed. Can you tell me in detail what laws you're repealing?
I love that question. I yield the will.
The lady has yielded the well. The lady has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. We could lock the machines real. Have all members voted? One more time, have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas, wow, 171. Yeas were 171. Wow, the nays were 0. Y'all changed your minds. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. The clerk will read the caption to HB 183.
House Bill 183 by Representative Barton of the 5th to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 1611-112 and Chapter 2 of Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to vehicles with false or secret compartments and registration and licensing of motor vehicles. This bill having referred to the Committee on Motor Vehicles, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Representative Barton is recognized to present the bill.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have with you House Bill 183. The LC number is 39624. This is a bill we passed last year and made it through the committee and rules at the Senate side, but it got hung up at the very end. This is a Department of Revenue bill. This bill pretty much is just changing the verbiage of temporary license plate to temporary operating permit. And the reason why dealers, the Department of Revenue, and commissioners, they all call them tops. And they just want the lingo of the state law to go along with what they're saying. And that's the essence of this bill.
Gentleman yield, but you have no questions. Well, you do have a question. Does the gentleman yield?
I yield.
The gentleman from the 109th, Representative McLean, to your left, has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I just noticed you were up, but we missed you in HB 175 because we were looking for you, but you were presenting the bill. So, Mr. Speaker, I would like to make sure that you notice that he was present, but he didn't vote on HB 175. But now, does the gentleman yield for my question?
Yes, sir.
So, on HB 183, on line 62, you were asking about the operating permit. Do you know exactly when, in accordance with the paragraph, when it will go into effect?
With the paragraph go into effect? It'll go into effect upon the governor's signature or July 1st.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I yield the will.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question, and thank you for the presentation. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. The clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas were 172, the nays 0. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. That completes our rules calendar. We're going to move on to afternoon orders. Representative Crawford is recognized for an afternoon order. Representative Amari Crawford. You're recognized, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the body and friends, good morning. I am Omari Crawford from the 84th District, and it's an honor to stand before you today for this Black History Month moment. Don't ask what the world needs, but ask what makes you come alive and go and do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And as you go throughout this journey, you will have to understand that there will be challenges, but you can overcome those challenges with hard work and preparation. Most importantly, to be successful, you need a chance. My person took her chance and cracked the glass ceiling with a strong serve and an even more impressive backhand. Althea Gibson became the first African American to win a Grand Slam title long before making history. She was born in the segregated South and moved with her family up to New York, where she began to fall in love with tennis at a young age. After just a year of playing, she became a local star, and her talent would take her to this school in Tallahassee, Florida, Florida A&M University, on a full athletic scholarship. She was successful in college, but as a professional, she struggled because she could not play in a lot of the segregated matches, but nonetheless, her talent would make room for her. And she would get her chance. In 1950, she became the first Black woman to play in the U.S. Nationals. In 1958, she became the Female of the Year after winning the French Open, the Wimbledon, and the U.S. Nationals, being the first Black tennis player to do so. She was inducted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame. And what did she do after she retired from tennis? Well, she went on to break the color barrier in the Ladies Professional Golf Association. Althea Gibson is a strong and emblematic example of what happens when your preparation meets opportunity and you're given a chance. So ladies, the next time someone tells you that you play like a girl, take it as a compliment. Mr. Speaker, thank you, and I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative. Chairman Jaspers recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the 35 members of the Transportation Committee, we do have a meeting this afternoon. It's in 6:06. You know, it'll be a 2-hour meeting. There will be a vote held on Representative Meeks' Bill 189. The members of that committee, please check your email. There has been a sub, and so you need to take a look at it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Doreen Carter is recognized for an afternoon order. Representative Carter.
My picture. Okay, I was hoping we have a picture. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, I want to bring your attention to a great Georgian. His name is Thomas Wiggins, born May 25th, 1849. Thomas Blind Tom Wiggins was a virtuous pianist, gifted composer, and one of the most in-demand musicians of his time in America in the 19th century. He was able to perform any musical piece in its entirety with little effort and amassed a repertoire of thousands of pieces of literary art over his lifetime. Wiggins was born Thomas Green in Harris County, Georgia, blind at birth. He was sold in 1850 along with his enslaved parents, Charity and Domingo Wiggins. At an early age, he showed an interest in the piano after hearing instruments played. By the age of 4, reportedly, he had acquired some piano skills by ear and gained access to a piano. By age 5, Tom reportedly had composed his first tune, The Rainstorm, after a torrential downpour of tin roofs. Blind Tom began touring the United States at the age of 8, and at the age of 10 became the first black musician to give a headline performance at the White House. In 1866, at the age of 16, Tom was taken on a European concert tour. Testimonials about Tom's natural talents from composer pianist Ignaz Moscheles and pianist-conductor Charles Haley. These were printed in the booklet, The Marvelous Musical Prodigy, Blind Tom, and used to bolster Tom's international reputation. He is referenced as the 167th most famous autistic person in the world. If you have the opportunity, they're doing a documentary, you can look up Blind Tom, but he was born blind and autistic into slavery, and look at what he did. That is my moment in Black history. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the wheel.
Thank you, Representative. Chairman Carpenter, recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Speaker. Yesterday, my community lost a great man, a man that never met a stranger. Robert Bowie, a.k.a. Baby, was an icon at the Oakwood Cafe. He was loved by all who met him. Robert came directly to us from incarceration. He is an illustration that criminals deserve a second chance, and if put in the correct environment, they will succeed. With all this talk about tough on crime, it's easy to forget that it's people, not government, that will solve the revolving door of our prison system. We must learn to forgive, love people where they're at. Julie and I and the kids will miss you dearly. Rest in peace.
Chairman Saines is recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's fitting that this commemoration happens on Black History Month. My district commemorated the 52nd anniversary of the Thykal Memorial explosion, which Chairman Hitchinson responded to 52 years ago. The factory workers who lost their lives that day were making trip flares for the Vietnam War. I'll share a small excerpt of a constituent poem.
Gentlemen, members, I think it'd be appropriate if you stood and paid attention.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll share a small excerpt of the poem that was made by a constituent in their memory. But we rose from the brightness of a new day, memories of our loved ones which will never fade away. For those who are inclined, there is a petition for a Congressional Gold Medal for those individuals that you can find on their Facebook page. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, members, and thank you, Chairman Saines. That concludes our afternoon orders. The clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions.
Honoring the life and memory of Donald Don Lanier Plunkett. Honoring the life and memory of Adele Marie Dominica Benny. Honoring the life and memory of Reverend Joe Robert Hairston, Jr. Commending Mrs. Barbara Andrews Landreth's retirement and service as Georgia's longest-serving teacher. recognizing and commending Representative Mike Glanton Sr. on his outstanding public service, commending the State of Georgia organization Omega Phi Fraternity for their dedication, commitment to empowering youth, strengthening families, and uplifting communities, honoring and commending the Multi-Agency Alliance for Children, recognizing and commending the University of North Georgia upon its 150th anniversary, and for other purposes. That completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions? Chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. We're going to move on to announcements. Representative Betsy Holland is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Atlanta delegation, Joint Senate and House side, will meet this afternoon at 4 o'clock in CLOB 328. Space is limited, so if there are stakeholders who want to view the meeting but cannot attend in person, just contact our office for the Zoom link, and it went out by email this morning. Thank you.
Representative Bazemore is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My colleagues, I want to invite you to attend the inaugural Fulton County Day here at the Capitol on Thursday, February 16th, and that will be in the room 341 at 4 p.m. Please come and join us and put it on your calendar. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. That was the 14th? 16th. Representative McLean is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Working Family Caucus will meet upon adjournment in room 307 in the CLOB. We've got to get out by 1 o'clock because committees are meeting, so please come on over. And today's presentation will be on the 2023 key education policies and budget issues. So in 307 in the CLOB, because we got to be out by 1 o'clock. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Tarvin recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Committee on Information and Audits will meet today at 1 p.m. CLOB 406. CLOB 406, 1 p.m. Information and Audits.
Chairman Williamson recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House Majority Caucus will meet at noon upon adjournment for lunch in room 403.
Well, I saved the best till last. The Savannah delegation is led by Representative Ann Allen Westbrook, has an announcement. Pay attention to this one.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, colleagues. Today is the best day of the whole session. It is Savannah Chatham Day. It's the hottest ticket in town, and every single one of you gets to get in with your badge. So please come and join us 5 p.m. at the depot. We're going to have all kinds of seafood, and I know we all in here eat seafood. There'll be oysters, there'll be Low Country Bowl, there'll be a variety of beverages, I understand, and there'll be some other things for you to enjoy as well if you don't eat the seafood. But please do come. We're legendary for our hospitality, and we're bringing it to the Capitol today, so see you at 5.
It's a great day to be with Savannah and all the good folks. Looking forward to it. That completes our announcements. We do have a couple of birthdays. We're actually celebrating a birthday today. Chairman of Game, Fish, and Parks. You got a birthday? Wow. Chairman Trey Rhodes, happy birthday. It's his birthday today. February the 9th, February the 10th, tomorrow, Representative Yasmin Neal will be 1 year older. Representative Neal, happy birthday. And on Saturday, Representative Mandisha Thomas will be another year old as well. Happy birthday to you, and many more. We do have pages today. If you have a page, we'll meet you down front. We'll take some page photos. Thank you, young people, for being here and working with us. Hope you've enjoyed your day so far. Chair now recognizes the majority leader for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Monday, February 13th, 2023.
On the motion of the majority leader that this House stands adjourned until 10 a.m. Monday, February the 13th, 2023, all those in favor will say yes or aye. Got both. Trying to double the count there. Or all those opposed will say no. The yes and the ayes have it. No doubt. We are adjourned.